my privilege to welcome everyone to the January 22nd, 2026 Guelph Police Service Board open meeting, and I am hereby calling this meeting to order. This is a reminder for those watching that pursuant to the requirements set out in the Community Safety and Policing Act, subsection 43 sub 3 and 44 sub 2 to sub 6, the format of the meeting has been adjusted. There will be a resolution to move into closed session. The board will reconvene in open session at 2:30 or as close to 2:30 as possible. Members of the public who are viewing this YouTube stream are welcome to come back at 2:30 and access the YouTube link, which is found as the second link on the meeting agenda. I'm going to need a mover and a seconder for the following motion: that the Guelph Police Service Board convene in closed session pursuant to subsection 42 sub 2 of the Community Safety and Policing Act 2019 for the purposes of considering the following subject matters. Shoot. Sorry, my screen went blank on me for a sec there, so I apologize for that. So it's personnel matters about an identifiable individual, labor relations or employee negotiations, litigation or potential litigation affecting the board, advice that would be inadmissible in court by reason of any privilege under the law of evidence, including communication necessary for that purpose, information explicitly supplied in confidence to the board by Canada, a province or territory or crown agency of any of them, including a municipality or a First Nation, and information that Section 8 of the Municipal Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act would authorize a refusal to disclose if it were contained in a record. So I need a motion to move into closed. Moved by Mr. Plate, seconded by Councillor Alt. All in favor? Opposed? I declare that motion carried. Okay. To reconvene our open session of the Guelph Police Service Board meeting for January 22nd, 2026. Moved by Councillor Alt, seconded by Mr. Plate. All in favor? Any opposed? I declare that item carried. Our next item is the territorial acknowledgement. As we gather, let us take time to reflect on our privilege to live and work in Guelph, a city built over rich Indigenous histories. We are guests here, and we should reflect upon the responsibility to care for this land, the people who live here today, and the generations to come. If our actions today can move us toward reconciliation, we should take pause and make those decisions with intention and gratitude. This place we call Guelph has served as the traditional lands and a place of refuge for many peoples over time. But more specifically for the Attawandaronk and the Haudenosaunee, this land is held as the treaty lands and territory with the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. Guelph lies directly adjacent to the Haldimand Tract and is part of a long-established traditional hunting ground for the 6 nations of the Grand River. Many First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples who have come from across Turtle Island call Guelph home today. Okay, next item is a declaration of pecuniary interest under the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. Hearing none, I'll declare that item closed. Next item is our community fund. If there's a motion to move forward from the closed, Councillor Alt.
Thank you. Motion from the community account funding a request from Big Brothers and Big Sisters Guelph for the 2026 Big Night Out Gala. Move that the Guelph Police Services approve $1,500.
Seconded. So, Mr. Plate, all in favor? Opposed? Declare that item carried. Next item is the consent agenda. Sorry,
Just
yes.
a point of personal privilege. I will be leaving early. I apologize for that. I have another responsibility to which I need to attend. If I sneak out, I won't leave you without quorum, and I see that we do have quorum here.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Alt. Our next item is the consent agenda. If anybody thinks that any of the items in the consent agenda should be pulled out for further discussion, please do so. Now is your opportunity to do so. Otherwise, I would like a motion to approve the consent agenda. Moved by Councillor Alt, seconded by Mr. Plate. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Our next item is the Chief's monthly update.
Thank you very much, through you, Mr. Chair. So I wanted to start off our update this month. I'm sure our community has seen a number of media releases in recent months in relation to frauds and those types of crimes that are impacting our citizens, but disproportionately impacting often our seniors in our community. So we're going to be doing a great deal of work on that in the coming months, but I wanted to give Staff Sergeant Jason Gardiero an opportunity, who leads our fraud unit, to give the board and our community a bit of an update. Then this will be a high-level update because we're going to be working quite hard in the coming months. But Jason, the floor is yours. Can you give us an update, overall, kind of a snapshot of how this is impacting our community and some of the things we're going to be looking at moving forward?
Absolutely. Thank you, Chief. And through you, Mr. Chair, thank you for the opportunity to present to the board here today. My intent is to provide you with an overview of cybercrime within our community. And in this presentation, I have 3 points I want everyone to leave here with today. The first is what cybercrime is. The second is how cybercrime affects our community. And the third point is what the police are doing now. So to start off, what is cybercrime? So cybercrime, most of cybercrime investigations do not start off with anything dramatic. It starts off like this. It's a normal day. Someone checks their phone, pays a bill, opens an email, answers a call. Sometimes it's routine. Other times it feels urgent, like they need to answer it right now. And within minutes, someone's day can go sideways. That is a cybercrime. It's a crime that uses the same technology we use every day. Phones, emails, social media, online banking, online shopping, and messaging apps. And the person behind it does not have to be in our city. They can never set foot here, but they can still reach someone here quickly, quietly, and they can reach a lot of people all at once. So here are just 2 examples of what I've seen here locally. One is a bank security investigator's call. Someone gets a call out of the blue. The caller says the account has been compromised and the bank is handling it. They sound calm and professional. They may put the person on hold with some familiar hold music, and then they ask for something like a PIN or account details to verify the investigation. Sometimes they add pressure by saying, don't call the branch, it could be an internal fraud, but stay on the line with me and we'll take care of it. The second type of a call is like a government CRA style message. Someone gets a call or an email that says there's identity fraud and it's linked to their name. They say that they need to clear it up. Then they ask for banking information or personal details, and they reassure the person that they are helping. In both cases, the goal is the same: create urgency, build trust, and get the person to act before they can pause and double check again. Now off to point 2. How does it affect our community? Cybercrime might start on the screen, but it does not stay there. It impacts and shows up in real life. It can mean money loss, but it also means stress and worry. People start doubting messages and calls they used to trust. Families worry about loved ones, and businesses really feel exposed. It also affects confidence. People start asking themselves, how did I miss that? How did I fall for that? The shame can keep people quiet, even when the scam is common. And it hits our older population especially hard. Not because older adults are careless, many are careful and they're very responsible. But offenders know how to push the right buttons. The buttons of fear, urgency, lean on their trust, use concern for family, or take advantage of people's loneliness. For some in our older adult population, being a victim in cybercrime affects independence. They may worry about how family will react. They may worry someone will step in and take over decisions that they've made for themselves for many, many, many years. And when families do step in to help, they worry right alongside with them. To the third point, what are the police doing right now? First, we investigate and we support victims of these types of crimes. These investigations could take time because the evidence is digital and spread across many sources. Often there's no traditional crime scene. The scene is the phone, the email account, the messages, the scene. The people are often contact us after money is moved or the account has been accessed. So we're working backwards to piece together what has happened. And often this is like putting a puzzle together with some missing puzzle pieces because we never get everything. That can mean investigators get writing warrants, getting the proper legal authority to request records for banks or businesses, and then reviewing a lot of that information to find the details and to connect the dots. There is also reality in cybercrime that can be frustrating for victims. Sometimes the harm is local, but the person behind it is not. When offenders are outside our city or outside our country, our ability to quickly and deal with this is very limited. Also, the number of files coming in is more than we can work all at once. Investigators end up triaging cases, which means other files can wait longer than anyone would like. These investigations usually involve a great deal of police resources. What we're also doing, though, is we're supporting the community through education and awareness. We are already seeing demand for officers to speak with seniors and community groups about scams and fraud, and we see interest from community partners because their staff are often the ones supporting the clients and family members when something goes wrong. In response, our fraud unit is currently working with community partners and local groups to deliver plain language presentations. You may have seen our current advertisement for our Understanding Fraud and our community presentation set for March 30th in collaboration with Crime Stoppers and Victim Services, other community partners that we're doing it with. The goal is not to lecture people. It really is to start a conversation, share what to look for, but just as important for us to give them the information, it gives the community a way to tell us what they are seeing right now so we can spot new scams sooner and warn others. Lastly, we want to reduce the shame about making reporting much easier. A big part of this is making sure people know they're not alone. These scams are common. They're designed to be convincing, and the victims should not feel embarrassed to ask for help. We also already have support information available online on our website. There is guidance and links to assist victims of the scams and how to report fraud. We want to make this section clearer, better, and easier to navigate in the future. There is something important about awareness too. The more we talk about this, the more outreach we do, the more people will come forward. That means more calls, more online reports, and more questions. But that's not a bad thing. But what it comes down to is, for the reality of policing, is that when reports do increase, our workload increases. These files take time, and we have to balance them with other files. So our ability to respond is not unlimited. But I want to end on a realistic sense of optimism here. Not because the problem is small, but because we really have signs that we can push back as a community. People are talking about scams more openly than they used to. Families are warning each other. Community partners are asking to be part of the messaging. And when people understand what these scams look like, they slow down, they double check, and they'll reach out sooner. This does not solve everything overnight, but it does reduce harm over time. And it reminds people that this is something we can face together as a community. So in closing, as we zoom out, the picture here is a simple picture. The impact of cybercrime is more common in our community. It affects everyone, but older adults feel it the most, not just in dollars, but in stress and confidence and in their independence. And we want to keep talking about it with communities, with our community and with our partners, because the impact does not stop at our police station. It shows up at home, at work, and across our city. Thank you, Mr. Chair. That's everything I have. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Perfect. Thanks, Jason. And one of the reasons why, Mr. Chair, we wanted to have this discussion, because as we've talked about for a couple of years now, as part of our KPMG and all of the increasing our supports that we're phasing in new supports for our citizens, some of our elderly residents and their caregivers are seeing a lot of these types of scams, I think, more and more often in our media. And this is the type of thing that we're going to be discussing a lot, educating a lot in the coming months, because I think the best support we can provide is to prevent these things from happening. It's one thing if a crime happens and we are able to investigate it, but we want to prevent these things from happening. So Jason and I see Inspector Caravellis is with us and their team. We're going to really be working hard. Last year, we attended a session at the Evergreen Center. We're hosting a session and we're going to be hosting numerous sessions in the coming months, much like the discussions we had in the last 18 to 24 months about intimate partner violence and human trafficking. We have to talk about it, to acknowledge it, and then really engage with our community to come up with proactive education and prevention in relation to this crime. And to Jason's point, for the members of our community who may become victim to these types of crimes, you're not alone and you're also not the only one. So when in doubt, we want people to call us at the soonest opportunity so we can do what we can to support, ultimately prevent, but we don't want folks feeling guilty or ashamed because someone else in our community might become a victim of that. So this is just the first presentation of a number of updates the board's going to get in the coming months, and one of many in-person and virtual opportunities we're going to have to engage the community to help prevent these things moving forward. So that's a high level. I'm going to stop there, Mr. Chair, and see if there's any questions on behalf of the board.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions? Comments? Okay. Hearing none. Thank you so much, Jason. That was a very informative presentation, and we look forward to hearing, and we're sure that the proactive approach you're taking will be very helpful to the community and assist a lot of people. So thank you so much. And
thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Okay. And next, I just have a couple more items, Mr. Chair, if that's okay.
Sure.
Next, I wanted to let the board know that we're working closely with Women in Crisis and Victim Services and many other community partners. We're going to be hosting in the coming months, I suspect before the end of March, a community discussion in relation to intimate partner violence and human trafficking. We hope to bring together a large number of folks in our community so we can sponsor a very comprehensive discussion about those things. I suspect it will be before the end of March, but there'll be more to come on that in the next couple of weeks. And finally, I wanted to thank CBC Radio Kitchener-Waterloo, specifically Craig Norris, for the opportunity. Helen Fishburne and I had a chance to provide some information on our second anticipated impact worker downtown. That's been so supportive, and to the board's support, having that second proactive support in our downtown to support vulnerable folks, both in our downtown encampments and other places. We really look forward to moving forward ahead with that. And it was really kind of CBC Radio to give us a chance to spend a few minutes talking about that this week. And with that, I don't have any other real updates this month, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any questions or comment arising from the chief's report? Hearing none, I'll declare that item of business closed. Our next item, is there any new business? Hearing none, I'll declare that closed. Our next item is to advise that our next open meeting will be Thursday, February 19th at 1 p.m. via Teams and live streamed on YouTube. And our next item is an adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Moved by Mr. Sharma, seconded by Mayor Guthrie. All in favor? Opposed?